Alright, hello. Let's see, where do I begin with all this? First of all, this is going to be my first tutorial video about how to make comics. Currently I'm showing artwork done with AI of the furrier artist McTaylus. His character Aurora. And you can look that artist up on X. I'll also be showing other characters while I'm explaining all of this in the video while I'm talking. I just wanted to show these characters while I'm explaining some stuff. So first of all, this video is going to be about how I make my comics with AI. I'll try to go over it in a decent way. Also, in this video, when certain characters are used while I'm explaining all this stuff, I'll put the artist who these characters belong to and other stuff if needed. So, what I'll be mentioning in the video tutorial will be things like different prompts. You'll see how I basically give the AI instructions about where I want certain events to take place, where there are other things that you can do too, like mentioning clothing and describing locations, etc., etc. But I kept this video to like a minimum in terms of information, and then hopefully you all could just explore with it. But in the video, it'll go over. You'll see a lot of different things. Well, maybe not a whole lot, but you'll see the prompts, and then you'll see how the AI frames the comic after that. Now, when it comes to how it gets framed, it really depends on certain things like how much information you put into it, as well as the kind of references you use and how you word certain things. I mean, if you pay attention to my prompts, you'll see certain things like dialogue and even the sign, how the AI interprets how you want all of this to be done. Also, please excuse how I'm sounding. I'm still kind of sick at the moment, but I thought I'd mention all of that stuff. Alright, there's also some other stuff I want to mention that I might not mention during the the portion of the video explaining things in the prompts. Sometime if you don't put dialogue, the AI will come up with the dialogue itself, and to be honest with you, sometimes it can be good or even great, and other times it can just be maybe a bit bland. That's just my opinion. I don't know what to say about that, but the dialogue for what you're seeing was mostly, if not all, me. I typed up the dialogue. You'll see it in the prompts. And let me see. I also want to mention, when it comes to the location, I didn't put as much information in the prompts as the location. Like I said, I just wanted this to be the most basic of tutorials, not anything too much that would get a bit overwhelming. But you could describe the background, like maybe put some trees. Maybe you could describe a couple of cracks on things like the sidewalk or street lamps and all of that. These are certain things I've seen artists do plenty of times when they make art by hand, by putting things to make the place look a bit, I don't know, just something to make it look a bit more realistic in a way, where there are like cracks, maybe some grass going through concrete. Those are just some of the things that I would normally put for certain things if I wanted things to just look a bit more natural, or like things have been around for a while and wasn't just created like the first day or something. But yeah, putting things like that is very important. And just to mention some of the artwork that you're seeing as I'm discussing this, I actually created or had this boat that you're seeing here at the moment. I had it created with Grok Imagine. I had used it for free, and then after I did that, I put one of the pictures from Grok Imagine into the Reference Pro model. That is the model I use for this tutorial, and I typed something involving the interior of it, and this picture came up, and I plan on came up for another character, but I'm planning on using this background quite a bit, or changing some things up. Highly recommend you all get some pictures and see what happens when you try to type, like say, have this character be within this cave. Like if you just saw the entrance to the cave but nothing inside, the AI might actually make the entrance of the cave look a bit more elaborate. You know, just putting something like that. Like I said, I may put examples in the future because I know what it's like just getting started with this stuff. I don't know if anybody will want to listen to that, but I know when I first got started, help was important. I kind of like to learn from experience, but sometimes it's still really good just to hear a few things. Also, something very important I want to mention. Not everything is going to come up properly the very first time you do it. I'm sure a lot of people, or enough people, have tried messing with AI content to understand that not everything usually comes up great on the first try. If it does, not only are you saving money, you're having a great day, and probably a better day than I've had plenty of times when I was working with AI trying to get something done correctly. I do have some other things I want to mention about the tutorial, but sometime I think it might be best just to explain it as it's going on. I've got these pictures staying on screen for a very long time, so not only just so I can explain what's going on, but to also let you see how certain things are done. I should mention some of the styles you're seeing. I didn't use the artist styles for some of these. Some of these I came up on my own. I may make a separate video showing how some styles can get created to look like traditional artwork, if anybody even considers this looking like traditional artwork. But in ways, I will say this, I look at a lot of the tools that I have for trying to make traditional artwork, and I haven't really posted many of my pictures, especially with coloring, but I tried entering certain tools, like say for example it's chalk or maybe crayons or something. I'd be trying all sorts of different stuff to implement into my prompts, or place into my prompts, however the words fit, in order to show different things. And I keep folders with that information in it. You know, if I had something that I wanted to look a bit more like a painterly-like style, or if I wanted something to look a bit more chalk-like, which I don't think I've used that much, if at all. I go through many different types of trials and errors just to get something to look correct. And when the tutorial part of the video starts, I may consider showing some of the scraps or extras just to show you that not everything comes up properly at first. And if any of you watching this has Photoshop, you're probably going to want to use that for a lot of your AI content if something doesn't come up properly. I don't have Photoshop or a computer that runs it. If I did, I would literally be changing so many things in my content. I'd probably even be saving a bit of money because there are so many minor edits that could be done with Photoshop. Also, I want to mention this now. Normally I'd probably save it until the end of the video or whatever, but I really think it's important I mention this. I really want to thank all the artists that have been letting me use their art styles and that are allowing me to show people what can be done with AI. One of the more interesting things I've just done with using art styles is just trying to see how well different art styles and artists' artwork can work together in AI, or just be kind of blended in a certain way to make something unique. It's been among the most fun to see, as well as being able to see some of their characters they might not even do as much, be in different positions and different styles, different locations, different clothing. There's just literally so much that can be done with AI to different characters, and when some artists get amazed or surprised when they see their characters or artwork being used in a certain way that they hadn't thought about or never tried, it is honestly among the most awesome things I could think of, just getting them a bit surprised about it. And I really enjoy having fun and, in a way, kind of giving back to them, because so many artists have basically helped me get through a lot of rough things in the past for many years. Anyway, I do have more to say, but I think I should cut it here. I'll get started with the tutorial video now. Alright, so here we go. Here's the start of the tutorial video. The model I use for my comics is the PixAi Reference Pro model. Just to let you all know, it's sadly a paywalled model, meaning you'll have to have a subscription in order to use it. I think it should still be available at the lowest subscription tier possible, which is I think like $10 or something in American money or whatever, but that sadly is the thing. Sorry I didn't start the video with that, but I really wanted to mention this as soon as the model came up. So get a $10 subscription, watch for some of the discounts. I think one time they had a monthly discount drop as low as $2 or $3 and all of that. I highly recommend you save up some credits, a lot of them, and you know, get them daily and then get the subscription and then try it, because practice makes perfect. The two pictures you're seeing here are what I used as references for the comic. The picture to the left is a picture I had created separately with AI and all that, with a whole bunch of other stuff that I had done in order to get it. I'm not going to talk about how that was done. It's a whole separate process about how I got that done. And the other picture was actually done by Wolfgang Cake. That reference that was in the previous picture before all my comic stuff showed up. It was done by the artist Wolfgang Cake. Look him up on Blue Sky and X. Now, what you're seeing here are the prompts that I started with for this comic. The full comic will be shown once all the prompts have been shown completely for you all to see. I highly recommend you all read the prompts that I have on screen, and maybe try two different pictures, one for a character and one for an art style, and see what you get from that. Now, if you were paying attention to the prompts that I have above, they mention different, you know, that I wanted the character in picture one being used, and I wanted the art style of picture number 2. I should also mention, this is very important, the number of panels you happen to choose can literally affect so much of what you're trying to make and have done. It's very important that you understand what happens. I mean, if you're reading this while I'm watching, maybe you do something with the volume or whatever so you don't hear me talking too much if you're just trying to read. I don't know how all of you want to read all of this, but being as descriptive as possible, especially for the panels, can shape the comic more into what you're trying to get it to look like. So, you know, like say maybe, well, you can see the instructions about what I put for each panel. Just follow that and you'll get similar things in a comic if you try to make one like mine and everything. But being specific is very important. If you do pay attention though, I'll mention some things even though it's already should be on screen or will be on screen later. I mentioned what I wanted the character who owned the car to be doing. I mentioned how I wanted the sign to look. I mentioned what I wanted to have happen to a building. I mentioned what I wanted the character, if I haven't already mentioned this, the character doing something to the car. I mentioned specifically the shape I wanted the car to be crushed into and all of that. I've done that. I've mentioned the dialogue. All that dialogue, if I'm not mistaken, was typed by me. If you can't tell, just look at the prompts that show up on the screen and go back and forth. You'll see things were typed, if I'm not mistaken, word for word. The other, and very important, if I haven't mentioned this, use quotations when you're mentioning dialogue, like saying, have the character say, and then put in quotations what you want them to say, and then close the quotations, like, open the quotations and close them. It helps, if I'm not mistaken, it helps the AI understand what you want the characters to say. I use this for many different things involving dialogue, whether it's with animations or with making comics. It's very helpful. I highly recommend you remember the quotations part. And I also will later on mention what happens when you use different panel numbers. I may say this another time, but the number of panels can affect the quality of the pictures. If you've got like say 30 panels, and I've actually tried making comics with like over 25 panels, the panels can look very weird, different. Sometimes the quality is a bit rough or whatever. But if you have like 3 panels or 7 or something like that, the quality is a lot more improved, a lot better. Things may be even more consistent. I've had to deal with a lot of struggles with trying to get these presentable for the video, because I made a lot of panels be placed in this comic, and a lot more were attempted in the past. But anyway, if you're still paying attention to the prompts, you'll see more of what I've placed and other stuff. Also, I should mention this, I was considering showing a lot of the different mistakes or terribly formed comics, but honestly, I didn't feel like assembling them for this video too much, and I don't know how many people would really want to see that. Usually I have that stuff, or some of them, uploaded to my Patreon. By the way, with everybody helping me with Patreon, that's among the reasons why I can even show this tutorial and have been able to have many attempts in order to show you all these videos. The videos I've shown, as well as this tutorial and future things. I really appreciate and thank all my patrons that have been supporting me on Patreon, as well as my subscribers on DeviantArt. It's really helped me get all of this done and show different things to artists. If you want to see a lot of extra stuff that I don't show on DeviantArt or on YouTube or certain other places, Patreon is where I put the most content. I sometimes put things on Sora too as well, if anybody can find me there. I have some things on X, but you all should most likely know about my different accounts. But anyway, if you want to support me, help me, and see more content, Patreon's the best place to see the extra stuff. But I also, but I do try to show the best stuff for free. I don't try to keep the best stuff hidden or behind a paywall or whatever. Some things I may admit may look better than others that I have public. But anyway, I do try to show the best for free. If somebody even mentions to me that they think that should be shown or something, I'd most likely put it up for everybody to see. But if you want to support me, please donate however you can. Anyway, I think this should be the end of the prompts for the comic. So you should probably see the full comic in about a few seconds or so. I'd recommend you pause and see it, but I also have plans to post the comic as a separate post so everybody can see it a long while after this video is published, so I can give people enough time to see it. But if you zoom in on the comic, you should be able to see it. I'm still going to say a bit more, but I've got to say I wanted to come up with something funny for this. That's why this comic was based on a video I saw of a firefighter basically ramming the fire hose through a vehicle, like breaking the glass of the vehicle to get it to the fire hose. So I thought having the car crushed into a square so they could get to the fire hose would be even funnier and all that. So I kind of try to make comics of real life events that have happened just to get a good laugh from everybody. I hope some people find it funny. I find it hilarious. In my opinion, the other comic that I have in this video kind of looked even funnier to me. You'll see it. It's the other comic is going to basically show what happens. This is the comic, the full comic that you all couldn't see because I was screenshotting the prompts for y'all to see. But after this comic, I'll explain some other stuff that was done. And in order to show what happens if you don't have as many panels listed. And I should have technically probably gotten rid of some of the dialogue too as well, so you all could have seen what happens when you don't type the dialogue, but I figured I'd leave it the way it is. Alright, so for this picture that you're all seeing here, I decided to change the amount of panels. I went through so many different types of, so many different numbers of panels to try to make my point about this. Like if you look previously, I think I had like maybe anywhere between 10 and 25 panels in that last comic. I don't recall at the moment. I mean, I know I could look back, but I really want to get this video done. But this one I decided to just have a few panels, like 5. So I also did not put in the description what I wanted in each panel, or at least not in every panel like I did in the last one. So you can see the AI decided to fill in the gaps about what was going to be in each panel. And I also, instead of having like over 10 panels or over 7, it just is down to like 5 or less. So you can basically see the quality improvements if you look at the comic here and the previous comic. Highly recommend though you experiment with different panels, see what can get the story told at the sacrifice of quality, or what can be told in higher quality. Character consistency is also important. You can obviously see there are mistakes here. I edited some of the mistakes in the previous comic, but here I kind of left them a bit more to be a bit more prevalent. I'm sure you all can see them. Like it looks like 2 different wolves were used and everything. You'll see once the comic's finished. But anyway, this was done as an experiment just to show you what happens when you don't include certain things, like what happens in each panel, the quality improvements, and some other stuff. Basically, I'm sure you'll see. Truth be told, I could literally make hours-long videos about the different varieties and different things that could happen, just to show how just some minor changes, minor omissions, minor additions can literally change how your comic looks. But I don't know if you all really want to hear all that. This video was done basically just to show you all how I make my comics, and at least for you to have a try. Like I said, if you're not somebody that wants to buy like a monthly subscription or a yearly subscription, I'd be glad to have a yearly subscription. If you're not among the people that want to do that, highly recommend you go to PixAi's website or use their app and just constantly collect their credits they give you daily. They also have some other things you can do to get extra credits. And then when you get like maybe, I don't know, say you save up for 1 million credits after 2 or 3 months, you buy a 1-month subscription on like a reloadable card or a credit or debit card for like $5 or $10. Do it, experiment. If you like it, great. If you don't, still fine. I honestly think it requires a lot of practice. That's me. I normally put in, I should probably mention this, I normally put in a lot more prompts and effort and certain other things into my comics. I should have probably mentioned that at the beginning, because obviously this comic and the previous one doesn't look like my usual type of content. But like I said, I was just trying to make this be as basic as possible so everybody could understand how I basically get things done. But I highly recommend you look up all sorts of methods. Like eventually I may start putting more art terms for different panels just to get certain angles done properly. That's just among the many things. Like I said though, I would also recommend, this is something I probably haven't mentioned, when you get a style you like, whether you use an artist style or an art style, whatever you want to choose, or you try to make your own, I'd highly recommend after you get the picture, if you get one you really like, because sometimes it's not consistent with AI, or AI is not consistent with some pictures sometimes, I highly recommend you use the picture that you like the most that you get as a reference, and then use it for in Reference Pro for comics or whatever. It'll save you a lot of time and effort to put in a lot of things. Alright, I think the prompts are getting close to the end. They're getting pretty close, but like I said, you can see the differences. If I'm not mistaken, I got rid of some stuff. You saw what it did to the sign in the top left corner. It really, in my opinion, did that pretty well. I really wanted that broken away just to show that that guy didn't care. And I left this kind of unedited so you could see certain things. Like I would have probably gotten rid of, if possible, Fox that's either in the car or on the side, and I would have left the scoff that he had there. All right. So I'm trying to think about what else I need to mention here. Well, anyway, the other thing I also probably should mention as well, when you're using this as well, I don't know why I didn't mention this before. You can also use these methods for single pictures, or at least I'd recommend you try Reference Pro for a single picture of a character. That's a whole other topic on how I do things for just a single character. That character I showed at the very beginning that I used as a reference for this comic, the one that I used with a different AI method, that took a bit of time, and it just required so much. Me trying to come up with a style with different art tools being simulated, or I don't know if that's the proper term, or implemented, or imitated, maybe I should say that, and different poses, things like that. I'm grateful that certain artists let me use their artwork, and it helps with poses, as well as I can make new poses by mentioning certain things or certain positions that I want characters in. Alright, the video has like about a minute left. I'm gonna consider either talking a bit more or just having some music playing towards the end, and I'm gonna also consider if I'm gonna show more artwork at the end or not. If you all could just, maybe I won't send artwork, I'll just ask some questions or whatever. If you all have any questions about this video, just let me know, type them in the comments section. If I feel comfortable about answering them, or certain questions I plan to answer them, there are certain things I won't answer as well. So I'm just mentioning, if I say I won't answer it, please don't get irritated with me about that. I just might not do it. Certain things I will answer. All right, here's the full comic. Take a look. I plan on that being uploaded separately either. I really like what happened in the bottom left corner of the comic. That just looks so funny. That's all that's left of that card. It just makes me laugh so much. But anyway, if you have any questions, please let me know. Please comment. Please like this video. I need comments, likes, subscribes, all that stuff to get this stuff pushed around. It really helps my content get noticed, and the more attention my content gets, the more and the more support I get, the more times I can make stuff like this involving comics. When I say make stuff like this, I mean make different comics. And it also helps me. It also helps me when people subscribe to me on Patreon or become paid tier members, especially if you can go higher than certain tiers. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.